Chapter 21, Arrival and a Crow's Inquisition. Nami, Village. Naruto had stepped onto the docks of Nami as the trip over the sea took a few days and felt even longer considering everyone had to deal with Choji seasickness. The blonde was surprised to see that the near rundown village was now an impressive place from when he had last seen it. "I can't believe this," Naruto said in shock as the crystal gems and the Konoha ninja had stepped onto the dock before Yellowtail left. "Is this really Nami?" "Indeed it is, Naruto," Kakashi answered as he stood next to said blonde. "With the money they recovered from Gato, they were able to rebuild their home into what you see today and then some, as this place has been known as the Village of Sailors." "Naruto?" said a familiar voice as everyone turned to see a middle-aged man and a young boy next to him. "Well, it is you. Kazuna. Inari," Naruto said as the young boy ran up to him and gave the blonde a hug. "How are you guys doing?" "We've been doing great ever since you freed us from Gato's cruelty," Inari said with a big smile. "Everything was possible all because of you, Naruto." "This place is amazing," said Pearl as she approached Naruto while looking at the buildings. "I can't believe that this was really run down before." Inari looked to see Pearl and the other gems approaching Naruto as the blonde then said, "Inari, I'd like you to meet my family, my girlfriend Pearl, my Nei-chan Amethyst, my Atuto Steven, my mother Garnet, and my friend Lapis Lazuli." Inari bowed as Garnet then said, "Since we are in your home country and considering your status, we should probably start moving." "Yeah," Naruto said sadly as he wanted to stay a while, "but before we do that, I would like to go visit a friend." The group traveled through the village as the many citizens waved in Naruto's direction and giving him their many praises. "Looks like we got ourselves a big celebrity here," Amethyst joked as she saw the attention Naruto was getting. "I can't wait to see your friend." Naruto remained silent as the group eventually found a small forest where two grave markers stood with large holes in front of them. "No," Naruto said with pure horror in his eyes as he rushed towards the disturbed graves with the others following him. "These were the graves of Zabuza Momoki and Haku," Kakashi said as Naruto stared at the grave markers in silence. "They were the first real opposition that the team had faced outside of Konohagakure, and it was thanks to Haku that Naruto learned about getting strong and having true strength. But who would disturb them like this?" Shock and slight anger caused Lapis to think back to when she had arrived back on her home planet. She saw nothing but destruction and gems shattered beyond any form of repair. It was painful to see as the monsters that were once her friends and colleagues rampaging about, and none of the sages were around to do anything as they were all destroyed. It felt just like yesterday when she learned of what happened. Flashback. Gym Homeworld. Lapis ran into the Grand Temple where the sages are usually seen and tried to make her way into the council chambers. "Maybe one of the sages can help me," Lapis thought as she was getting desperate after seeing the state of her homeworld and possibly having them look into the traitors that have abandoned their home in favor of Earth. They just have to. She finally stopped to see the gigantic doors that lead into the council chambers, and she honestly felt intimidated about just bursting in as no one but the sages alone could enter unless summoned for a reason. The blue gem felt her heart jump into her throat without mercy as she could only imagine just what would happen if she bothered the sages, but quickly swallowed her fear as she placed a hand in preparation to open the door before. Kra boom. Ga. Lapis cried out as the doors had exploded and sent her flying into a nearby column. Quickly changing her hands into mirrors, Lapis quickly checked her gem to find that it was still okay despite a slight scuff mark. A loud, echoing roar alerted the gem to see that from where the doors once stood was a terrible beast in the form of a dragon skeleton that was black as the darkest midnight with wings made of sparkling, silk-like fibers, and its exposed heart was beating in an ominous rhythm as white flames escaped the beast's mouth. Its empty eye sockets had paralyzed Lapis to her very core as she shivered in absolute terror and fright. "It''its," Lapis said as she stared at it with pure fear as she had never thought that she would see one this close. "It's a midnight bone dragon. What's one doing in the council chambers?" Her question wasn't answered as she saw the monster lunge towards her before Lapis shape-shifted into a snake and slithered into the council chambers. The skeletal beast roared and peered inside in order to find its prey that was hidden under a seat of one of the most well-known sage, Ember. Another roar was heard before the thunderous sound of beating wings fading away in the distance was heard before Lapis decided to take a risk and peek out from the seat to find that she was alone again. For the moment. Think the sages that was too close. Lapis whispered as quietly as she could before carefully looking around, now to find out what's going on. Lapis slithered around to find any form of clues about what has happened while she was sealed away in that horrid prison. She continued on as she found destroyed furniture, columns, and the occasional irreparable gem shard of what she could only guess was either once one of the other gems or heavens forbid a sage. It was a horrible sight, but she just had to know what had happened. The ancient library. Lapis said with hope as she approached a library hidden in the back of the council chambers. Maybe there's something there. After quickly slithering in, Lapis changed back to her human form before staring ahead with a haunted look as her eyes were scarred at the sight before her. The once revered library was now filled with nothing but smoldering ash as holes were burned into the walls and floor, books that contained information on all of the known planets and systems, and even her species history. All destroyed. Damn that dragon! Lapis roared out in pure anger before clasping her mouth shut as her voice echoed throughout the temple. She remained still and quiet for a few moments before taking a chance that she was safe and exploring what was left of the library. She tried to sweep a pile of ash to see if anything might have survived, but she quickly brought it back to herself as she was burned badly by the contact. She held back a curse as she should have known that anything burned by a midnight bone dragon is rumored to be hot enough to even damage a star. Lapis held her injured hand and continued to look until she found a pile of paper that didn't even look slightly singed save a few spots. She was about to rush towards it before stopping herself as who knows just what could have accessed this once beloved library. She created a copy of Pearl and had it approach the pile and gather up the sheets of paper before handing them to her. The Pearl copy vanished as Lapis read what was on the paper as she discovered that it was written by one of the sages as the notes were recounting what had happened. Her skin began to pale as she scanned the sheets. Apparently there was something that was causing gems to become corrupted and transform into monsters of old. The sages had summoned Rose Quartz, Ember's apprentice, and in order to try and protect a few gems of her choice. Rose's choices were garnet, amethyst, pearl, and a fourth gem whose name had somehow been burned out, and they were sent to Earth, a small backwater planet that had very little mystical energy save for a small place that was apparently protected by something. Rose and her team had left in hopes of not just protecting what remaining gems were all left, but to find a way to restore the other gems back to normal. The notes then began to reveal that some of the monsters had followed Rose's team through the warp pad before it was destroyed by one of the sages before he fell to whatever was corrupting the gems. That small part had frightened Lapis as if even a sage was vulnerable to whatever this was, then how could Rose Quartz possibly possess a chance of restoring them? Lapis continued to examine the notes as they revealed that the gems, even the sages themselves, who haven't been corrupted yet, were being killed and destroyed by the beasts until two of the most powerful sages were attacked right at the end of their fusion, which had resulted in. No. Lapis gasped as she dropped the papers as the sudden realization caused her to stumble back a bit. Lord Onyx and Lady Diamond. They're the Midnight Bone Dragon. Lapis crawled up into her knees as tears fell from her face, as those two were the most powerful sages, even stronger than Ember and Green Jasper before he became Bloodstone, and they were now some mindless beast. She always wanted to be as strong as them and even become a sage alongside them, or even have them teach her like Ember had done with Rose Quartz. She had always dreamed of it since she saw them in action so long ago, as their power alone was once awe-inspiring. Now that was impossible. Looking at the papers again, Lapis looked to see that there was a small prayer for Rose's team in hopes of their success and their safety. Under Rose's name were the names of those she had chosen to take with her until she saw that the fourth gem's name was still there. As her eyes widened at the revelation, she's that fourth gem. Looking around at the destroyed library, Lapis sat on the floor in lamentation at what was revealed to her. She couldn't remember anything as the last memory were other gems sealing her into that prison as their faces were blurred while the sounds of crying echoed in her mind. She could never remember just who had sealed her, nor could she remember the crying person, with her only clue was that it was a woman. Running a hand over her face, Lapis then said, "Guess I have some thinking to do." Flashback end. Nami, Great Naruto Bridge. Lapis? Asked Steven as his voice snapped Lapis out of her thoughts. "Lapis, are you alright?" Letting out a sigh, the blue gem smiled and said, "Yeah, I'm alright." "Alright, just wanted to ask you since we're heading out towards Konoha," Steven said with a smile as the others were ahead of them with Pearl and Kakashi with Naruto in hopes of comforting the young boy. "I can't wait to meet more of Naruto's friends." Lapis followed the boy as she began to think about what more she was missing, as she wondered why she doesn't even remember Rose Quartz or going with her. "Hopefully I'll remember more over time," Lapis hopefully thought as she walked next to Steven while the group traveled down the roads the Konoha ninja were leading them. Away from the group, a set of beady eyes were watching them with a chuckle in its voice. "Time to set the trap," the voice chuckled before quickly vanishing out of sight. Road. Everyone traveled down the road before Kakashi saw an unfamiliar fork in the road. "I don't remember this here before," the cycloptic Jonin said as he led the others down the new road before slowing down to let Asuma lead the group while he pulled out a familiar orange book that was obviously worn with use. "Why are you reading that?" Pearl asked with slight disgust in her voice. "He just does it, Naruto commented before he saw just how worn the book was. "I'm surprised with how much he read that one, as Mom has the latest one." "I've already finished this book, but I read it again and again as there is just so much drama that you somehow find a different fork in the road," Kakashi casually said as Asum narrowed his eyes as he caught the message. "While I am a fan of the series," Garnet said as she too had caught the message, "I do not read it out in public like that." "Everyone get down!" Shikamaru roared as everyone dove to the ground as the trees to their right suddenly fell deeper into the forest. "Kai!" Kakashi quickly said as he formed a seal to reveal that they were in a forest with two familiar figures standing before them. Well, said Kisame as he looked at the group, more specifically at Naruto, "seems like the fox god has finally returned, Hachi? And he is not alone either," Ichi stoically said until he raised an eyebrow towards Lapis. "I never knew you had a daughter, Kisame. I've always thought of you as a bloodthirsty killer." "I don't have a daughter," Kisame said as he looked at the blue girl with slight agitation. "Let's just grab the Kiba and get out of here." "Not on our watch," said Garnet as she, Pearl, and Amethyst summoned their weapons while Lapis had her wings appear from her gem. "Protect Naruto and the crystal gems," Kakashi said as he and the other Konoha ninja quickly got into a battle stances before Kisame charged in for the attack with Ichi staying in the back. The former Kiri ninja gave the weapon on his back a mighty swing as both the ninjas and the gems jumped to the side to avoid the attack with Pearl holding Steven under her arm. "Stay here," Pearl said as Steven was about to argue when he saw Ichi behind Pearl. "Look out!" the young boy cried out as he pulled the gem's shirt to get her away from Ichi before the former Konoha ninja took in a breath. "Fire style, Grand Fireball Jutsu," Ichi said as he blew out a stream of fire that collided into Steven. "Steven!" everyone cried out before Amethyst rushed towards Ichi with her whip ready, but was stopped as the rogue ninja grabbed her arm and broke Amethyst's wrist before lifting her up by her throat. "This is what you and your friends are dealing with when you get in our way," Ichi said as he held his eyes closed before opening them to reveal his Mangekyo Sharingan, Tsukimi. "Amethyst! No!" Naruto called out as he had seen what Ichi's special genjutsu can do to people. Ichi stared intently at Amethyst before sensing an attack from behind and quickly summoned a clone to block an attack from Steven who was wielding a pink shield. "How did you survive that attack?" the Ichi clone asked as he kept his grip on the kunai. "I have the powers of a crystal gem," Steven said as he tried to push the Ichi clone away. "Now let Amethyst go." The original Ichi continued to stare at Amethyst when the purple gem said, "I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but you can't hurt anyone with that fancy eye trick." Taken aback by the sudden glow, the original Ichi then saw a huge figure with purple skin and white hair on its chest with a small purple amethyst poking out wearing a black leotard. The figure pulled back a fist and went to punch the original Ichi, but missed as both Ichis were just clones. "Damn it, he tricked us," the figure said with Amethyst's voice before looking at Steven. "You alright, little buddy?" "I'm alright, Amethyst," said Steven as he dusted himself off, "just a few small burns, nothing serious." Amethyst looked to see Pearl, Lapis, and Naruto fighting off multiple Ichis while the Konoha ninja and Garnet were fighting off Kisame, who had a few of the wrappings on the weapon removed to reveal jagged blue spikes similar to the spikes on Naruto's claws. "I'm going to help the others, Steven," Amethyst said as she returned back to her previous form. "I know you want to help, but these two are pretty serious. I'm not sure what that one guy was doing, but with how Naruto sounded when he saw that Ichi guy look at me, it wouldn't have been good." Steven looked to see that the group of Ichis were gaining an advantage over the other gyms and Naruto, as Garnet was fighting off 3 Ichis at the same time while Naruto was fighting just 2. "Alright," Steven said as he knew that it wouldn't be a good idea considering just how difficult the two were. "Just don't get hurt too badly." "Don't worry, I'll be fine," Amethyst said gently before jumping into the fray of Ichis with her whip flying about, hitting one Ichi after another. Naruto was having a difficult time handling the 2 Ichis that were fighting him, as both of them would move around to dodge the blonde's attacks. "So you possess the same power as your friends," one of the Ichis had said as he observed Naruto's claws. "How did you acquire this power?" the other Ichi asked as he and his double stared down Naruto at the same time. "I've had this power since the Uzumaki clan was founded by my ancestor, Ember," Naruto said as he flexed his clawed fingers, "who also happens to be a crystal gem that once defeated a rogue gem by the name of Bloodstone." "So she defeated Bloodstone before," one of the Ichis said before he formed a seal, "ninja art, shield of murder." The other Ichi soon exploded into an innumerable number of crows that formed a dome over Naruto and Ichi. "Naruto!" Pearl cried out as she dashed towards the dome and tried to strike at it, but she bounced off with scratches and stab wounds on her body. Kakashi quickly arrived next to Pearl and said, "Ichi must have separated Naruto from us by using clones and Kisame to keep us busy. We need to get in there." "That dome isn't going to be easy to get through," Pearl said as her wounds were slowly healing. "Those crows are incredibly fast and their talons are nothing to scoff at." "Then I guess I have to use my trump card," Kakashi said as he lifted his Hitai to reveal a closed eye before forming a seal. "I need some time before I can use it, but I can probably get through to Naruto if I just aim it right." "Hope you know what you're doing," Pearl said as she slashed an Ichi clone that was going towards Kakashi. "Just know that I'm not sure how long I can keep it up until I'm too badly injured." "Duly noted," the Jonin said as he kept focusing his chakra. Inside the dome, Ichi was staring down Naruto as the blonde was waiting for his opponent to move. "I can see that you have gotten stronger," Ichi said stoically. "I wonder if you have become strong enough to defeat Sasuke since he possesses the power of the one your ancestor had defeated." Naruto's eyes widened at the revelation as he then said, "You mean to tell me?" "Yes, Naruto," Ichi said without missing a beat. "Sasuke is Bloodstone as he replaced his own heart with a gemstone. Which I take as the source of your power." Naruto tried to back away, but the sound of tearing cloth convinced him otherwise. "I wish to ask you a question, Naruto," Ichi calmly said as the blonde looked at him. "How far are you willing to protect Konohagakure?" "Honestly," Naruto began as it seemed he has no choice but to answer Ichi's question, "I'm kind of at a standstill as I'm mostly here to protect my real home from both the Akatsuki and Bloodstone. Konoha was never my home as it felt more like a prison with everyone against me and I can only trust the few connections I have. While I still have some friends in Konoha, the friends I have at Beach City are far too important for either group to take away as they saw me." Ichi gave the blonde a small hum before he then said, "That is an interesting answer as you are willing to protect your friends that live in the very village that had given you your own hell on earth, but at the same time, you are willing to turn away from Konohagakure itself for a chance of true happiness." Not exactly how I'd word it, Naruto admitted with a cringed look, but I know that the true happiness isn't a chance, as I know it's real, as everyone there see me as who I am, Naruto Jim. Very well, Jim-san. I just have one more question for you, Ichi said as a lone crow sat on his shoulder. Now that you know that Sasuke possesses the power of Bloodstone, making him a pseudo-crystal gem, what are you going to do? While I am a rogue ninja, I still care about my little brother, as I regret how I have pushed him down the path he had chosen, so do answer carefully. Naruto remained silent, as from the corner of his eye, he could see small amounts of red, pink, and black through the torrent of crows. Mom must be trying to get to me, Naruto thought as he focused his attention on Ichi. Well? The rogue ninja asked with slight impatience. Naruto let out a sigh as he said, I was hoping that if I were to ever see Sasuke again, I would try and get him to understand that the path he's chosen may lead him to destruction, as I have seen him become more and more obsessed with power before my banishment. After I was told about how Sasuke had fled the village some time after my banishment, I had realized something. The Sasuke I knew, the one that I had seen as not only a rival but a brother as well, had died before our fight at the Valley of the End. He's no longer the cold but compassionate person he once was, as he became this creature wearing Sasuke's face as its own. I don't know what to do, but if the time comes, I will protect Sasuke. You're going to protect Sasuke, or more correctly the creature that calls itself Sasuke? Ichi said with wonder. Looking at how things have been with him, Naruto said with slight pain, I think the only way to protect the real Sasuke that I know at this moment is to kill him. So you are willing to kill Sasuke in order to protect him? Ichi said as he pondered the idea. Yeah, Naruto sadly admitted, even though the Sasuke I knew had died, his body is still suffering at the hands of that creature. I won't allow him to suffer anymore, and by killing Sasuke, I know that he'll be at peace, as he wouldn't be suffering. It'll be hard to do, but if it comes down to it, I'll do what I must for my friend. Ichi was silent as he contemplated on everything that he has learned about his little brother. Sasuke had fallen so far that it would only take nothing short of a pure miracle that not even Kami could comprehend. He has yet to witness Sasuke's new power, but if it's anything like what he has witnessed from studying the other crystal gems, then the worst may be the only option. I am quite surprised with your answer, as I was expecting you to say something along the lines of beating the crap out of him until he wakes up, or even protecting Sasuke from Konoha's wrath, Ichi said as he gently scratched the underside of the crow's beak, but I can see how killing Sasuke may be the only choice to protect him. I shall grant you a small token for entertaining my curiosity. Before Naruto knew it, the surrounding wall of crows soon became a field of cherry blossoms, while 3 crows flew towards him and crashed into his body. Each one of them had stabbed themselves into Naruto's heart, stomach, and down the blonde's throat in a painful manner. Until we meet again. Ichi said as the field of cherry blossoms changed back into the wall of crows before the blonde lost consciousness and fell onto the ground. Naruto Gem. Konohagakure. Naruto was hearing a voice through the darkness as a bright light shone into his slowly opening eyes. Ugh! Naruto groaned as he let his eyes adjust to the light as they opened more. What happened? You and your friends were ambushed by Kisame and Ichi, said a familiar voice as Naruto fully opened his eyes to see Tsunade standing next to him. Your looks seem to have made the 2 flee in case of reinforcements from Konoha. Ba-chan? Naruto asked as he wanted to make sure that he wasn't dreaming. Is that really you? Tsunade smiled as she then said, Yes, Naruto. Welcome back to Konohagakure.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you guys want to watch more like it, please subscribe to my channel and become part of the video game fanfiction plot. And please leave a comment down below and hit that like button. If you guys have any suggestions on any stories you guys want me to read, don't hesitate. They're always welcome here in the video game fanfic plot. That also goes for video games. Until next time, goodbye!